What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick before we get into the video, if you didn't mind sometime during it, possibly hit a like on the video. I said possibly subscribe to the channel. I think I jumped the gun there a little bit. Anyway, I'm missing the little fuzzy thing on my microphone, so I'm hoping that the audio quality is okay. There's not too much going on there. My cat apparently got a hold of my little lapel mic. I think that I'm getting a new microphone for Christmas to assist in these videos, but we'll see what Santa brings me. He may or may not have already purchased something, but etiquette-wise, we have to wait for Christmas before one may or may not get said mic. Anyway, I am going to the list of things. A couple videos ago, I asked you guys, since I'm kind of trapped inside right now, even though the weather's fair today, I still, all my rigmarole's up here, and I didn't want to carry it all the way downstairs. Well, this is the top floor of my house. Here, all the way downstairs, all the way out to the barn, just to do a video or two out there. Let's just do it in here. Anyway, I asked, for some video ideas. Maybe I could, something I didn't have to show anything per se. We could just talk about it. So I asked you guys for some topics you'd like to hear about. And one of them was cold weather tire tips and anything I can give you on that. Okay, first things first, I guess we'll discuss what would be the difference between a summer tire tip and a winter tire tip, as in temperature, and that would be heat into the tire. So in summer, you're going to want to keep heat out of the tire. Heat would, under the principle that heat is going to either make a tire fade or grip too hard. In the winter, when the tracks are super soft or real cold, real hard to get a hold of, you're going to want to bring that heat element into the tire. So my suggestion would be, I don't know about tire pressure. I actually had this question posed to me, what they thought in the cooler weather they should do for tire pressure. Now, adding tire pressure would add heat, but I think that if you raise the tire pressure, you're going to lose grip. So if I'm on a hot, fast track, it is in summer, you raise you raise the air pressure to take away grip. At least this is my perception of it. So in the summer, my suggestion would be to drop the PSI in the tire, because the tracks are going to be slicker, harder to get a hold of. You're going to want a softer PSI, air pressure in your tire in order to kind of mold and get the cart to grab a hold of that track. Now, as far as also bringing the heat, if you're able to prep, I would suggest things, I run track deck. We all know this by now, but SAA grape is formulated for below 50 degrees. That is going to bring temperature into the tire quicker, specifically made for that. SQS as a pre-race wipe, and if you don't have one or the other, I suggest SQS. Run your pre-race wipe and a lot of wipes of that. That's going to not only fire the tire off faster, but it should allow that heat to remain in the tire, and if you put enough coats on there, it should last the whatever run you're going through, whether it be a heat race or a feature race. But there's also the tire warmers. This used to be a bigger practice than I've seen it be now. Now, if I do see tire warmers, usually it's trying to grow a tire. If you got something that, you need a little bigger, they've got them on in between runs on the track. You put a whole bunch of air in it, put the tire warmer on it, let that, soak in the tire. My only beef with, I won't say it's a beef with tire warmers. All right, we'll talk about heating up tires in general. If you have a hot box and you want to, do the entire rim, the rim is going to carry a certain amount of heat, and you're going to have to experiment with how little that is going to bleed off air pressure when you're on track. So, you know, when we're racing on track, or bleed off, maybe it would gain. When you're running on track, the hotter a tire gets, the air pressure that's in there is going to expand. So you're going to start off with, say, 5 psi. By the end of the run, you could end up with 6, 7, 8 psi, depending on how hot that particular tire would get. Well, when you wrap a tire in a tire warmer, when you put it in a hot box, when you know, any element of heat you're adding to that, you're going to have to experiment over multiple runs to see exactly what that's going to do with your tire pressure. Because let's be honest, you know, you start playing with your tire pressures, not only are you messing with the amount of grip that you have in the tire, but also setup. Say, you know, one reacts more than the other. Say your right side grows more than your left side, and then all of a sudden you're adding more rear stagger to the cart, more front stagger. That's going to add or decrease cross. It may not be a lot, but it may be enough to affect performance. So I haven't really played along or a lot with them. Maybe I've used them once or twice. Somebody had them and I put them on my tires. I've seen them work really well, but without a lot of experience, I'm not going to tell you, go ahead and get some tire warmers or whatever, because unless you have the time to devote in the colder weather to know exactly what they're going to do, you know, that's really going to be up to you. But bringing heat into a tire in general on a colder track is not a bad idea. That's why, you know, when you get out on track, here's another tip: start scuffing your tires, start warming up, start back and forth, try and develop the, you know, get that tire to heat up, to bind to that surface a little better, because cold tracks are notoriously hard to get a hold of. I just had another thing I was gonna say there real quick, and then I forgot. So give me a second here. I'm going to pause and try and think of what I was going to say. Well, I guess that thought was gone. In the midst of talking, in the midst of talking about the scuffing tires type of thing, I had an idea popped in my head, and I was just like, hey, don't forget that. And as soon as I went to say it, it was gone. And I know you guys have... You've experienced that before, so I apologize for that. If I happen to think of it, maybe I'll mention it in another video. But anyway, those are the basic things, you know, I would look into. Start to play with pressure. I personally would probably start dropping pressure, because you're going to be looking for bite. I would increase my tire prep. I would get way more aggressive. I would use something like SQS or SSA Grape from Track Tack, cold weather preps, in order to bite up. If not, something Krug, Go, you know, if you're using Go, you can get a little more aggressive in the colder weather in order to bring that element of heat to the tire. You know, air pressures, like I mentioned, scuff tires when you get on track. Really warm them up, really try and get that element of heat to gain in those tires, because you're gonna need it on the hard to get a hold of track. So there you go. I hope I covered some of them. I hope I answered some questions for the person that posted this question. I hope. Sometimes I wonder if I'm helping anybody. So, all right, guys, I really do appreciate you coming by, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.